Jonathan Pogash is the cocktail guru, a mixologist and hospitality expert.
See? You know big words. Dude, I'm the cocktail guru. Cheers.
Jeffrey's his dad, a wine and spirits author, historian, and consultant.
So, I do my homework.
With decades of experience, they're always looking for the next big thing. Join this father and son duo for a few laughs as they explore the hottest trends in hospitality with the service industry's leading trailblazers and tastemakers. Welcome to the Cocktail Guru Show.
Welcome to the Cocktail Guru Show.
Welcome to this very serious episode of the Cocktail Guru Show.
Why are you so serious?
Usually, we're full of vim and vigor and liveliness and fun and luxury. And today, we're going to get a little more serious.
No, we're not. We're keeping it light.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that message. Okay.
But first, I want to say where we are. Okay. Where are we? Do you want to say?
Dear Irving on Hudson.
Exactly.
Dear Irving on Hudson.
Right on 40th Street in Midtown.
We can see the Hudson River from where we're sitting. It's beautiful.
Yes, that's
beautiful
the
day.
Hudson, and then the East River's over there. It is a gorgeous day outside.
On a clear day, you can see forever.
Yes, you can.
That was a Broadway show.
Oh, great.
For those who are too young to remember.
Pretty much everyone. We're here with an amazing guest, and she was just telling us that she doesn't appear on things, but I've known her for kind of a long time, and I just thought it's been a long time since I've seen her, and I'd like to get back in touch, and I'd like the general public to be aware of what she does.
And we're going to probe the depths of this lady's psyche.
I'm so nervous.
And her various stellar abilities.
So, Samantha Katz, welcome to the show.
Oh, it is an absolute privilege to be here with you both.
Thank you, Samantha. You don't have to say that, but thank you very much.
Well, it's true. I am a completely authentic person. You will get nothing but the truth in this episode.
So we can scrap the serum that we have?
Exactly.
Yeah. Take that away.
Okay.
The juice. So we, I think we must have met, was it through the USBG, US Bartenders Guild, or who knows? But it was probably coming up on almost 20 years ago, potentially.
Yeah, before Alan. I like to call it pre-Alan. Mrs. Katz.
Oh, right.
Really?
So Samantha
amazing.
Samantha is married to a guest who we had on last season, Alan Katz, an amazing distiller,
famous
New York
Alan
Distilling
Katz.
Company. Yep.
Yeah.
What were you doing then, pre-Alan Katz? I don't even remember. I was bartending.
In 2005, I was working on Wall Street.
You were working on Wall Street, yes.
Yes.
So why did the two of you meet?
Yeah,
did
why?
I meet you then
Were you
at the same time?
We met a long time. I've known you both before Alan. I mean, it's
Wow.
BA.
BA. Were you an enthusiast?
It's such a crazy story.
Great.
And
We've got time.
Okay, good. Because I had a lot of single girlfriends at the time. And we would go out for drinks. And one night we were at a bar called Taylor downtown. Remember Taylor? And
wasn't it in an old tailor shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were at the bar, and I had just been on Facebook at the time telling my friends that I had launched a new community called Singles Rock.
Wow.
The community was for people who had an extra ticket to a rock concert and needed a safe place to have your first date. And the idea was you could invite a +1, post your extra ticket, see who responds, how they respond in the group, and you would be in a place with security. And honestly, music is a bonder. If you like an esoteric band, you probably have some things in common. So why not post your extra ticket to the show, end up at the concert, listen to something. If the date is terrible, at least you both enjoyed the band. You'll probably be friends and into the music, and maybe you'll meet somebody else while you're there. So we were at the bar talking about Singles Rock, and a friend of mine had an extra ticket to a show, and she thought the bartender was hot. So I said, why don't you ask him if he wants to be your +1? And at the end of the night, the bartender brought a wingman and I was the wing woman. And we went to an after hours poker party. And the two of them did not end up going to the concert together. I ended up dating the other bartender.
And that was
Marshall Altier.
Of course. Yes, Marshall.
And
that's how we
that
how we
is
met.
how we met.
Yeah.
So to be honest, those years pre-Alan, I was immersed in meeting all kinds of people in the bar world, going to Tales of the Cocktail.
As a plus one.
No, sometimes I was just like glad to be there, even not as a plus one. Yeah. But I went and I threw all kinds of cocktail parties on my rooftop, which you probably could see from here. I used to live on the corner of 17th and 7th, and I had this amazing rooftop, and I would throw after hours bartender parties where the famous bartenders of New York City would come and make cocktails. But the infamous one was my lingerie party.
I definitely was not at that. I would remember that.
No, this one was seriously awesome. You checked your clothes at the door and you came in your favorite lingerie. It was sponsored by a couple of alcohol companies, which will remain brandless for the moment. And we had rotation bartenders that would come from their bars as their shifts ended or had the nights off, and they would make cocktail concoctions. We had slushy machines. We had all kinds of things going. Party went till 4 a.m. And that to me was a perfect blend of my worlds coming together. Playlists were created for the party that could create a mood. Women were invited to bring their full selves forward, wearing things that were so unique. Some people made their own lingerie. I wore my great-grandmother's 1940s vintage Christian Dior lingerie. She was a vintage designer in the 40s of jewelry, Eisenberg Ice. And ultimately, we had this expression of self, and the men that were in the room had a great time and were allies to the women.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not go.
See,
I don't think I went to any
we are really
of your...
going way beyond what we thought we would learn about Samantha Katz today.
And what about, so you were doing that kind of on the side in your free time, and then
that was just partying.
You were partying. And professional life, you were still working on Wall Street, or you were starting to develop other businesses? And
No, so Wall Street, I started on Wall Street when I was 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was recruited in as I was building the environmental policy major for Columbia University. I have always been an intersectional thinker, a community-oriented builder. The idea that you can build anything, but it all starts with community first. What does the community need? What is it missing? And at the time, I thought I was going to be an environmental engineer or scientist, and very quickly discovered that there were missing links in terms of the subject matter experts at Columbia who were teaching the environmental related classes in the econ departments and the poli-sci departments and the science departments. And I thought to myself, well, maybe this is an opportunity to be a bridge builder between these different departments, to find a common core language that allows community builders who care about the environment to have a way to bring people together to create long-term, sustainable, impactful change in this world. And at the time, I was looking for a common language, kind of the way you look for a core ingredient in a cocktail. Like, what's your base going to be? Well, what was the base going to be of this new way of teaching sustainability of environmental innovation? And I came up to the conclusion that the common core language was going to be money, because we have a relationship with money longer than any relationship we have in our lives. And if you're born in a different country or culture, you still understand the value of money. So this concept of using money as a common denominator became, and I apologize for my neurodiversity here in the thinking and explanation and storytelling, but you use it as a common denominator. Now we can talk about how to bring all these pieces together. So very quickly, I created a hypothesis, and my hypothesis at 19 was, what if we put a price tag on the environment in order to get the world to care about it? So I got recruited to Wall Street at 5 months later, and was one of the first dozen pioneers of environmental markets on Wall Street, building cap and trade programs, creating the first carbon neutral Republican and Democratic national conventions, building green utility programs in this country, writing legislation, building markets. And at the end of the day, I learned how to talk to leaders and CEOs of major companies very early on. I was teaching the courses at Columbia by the time I was a junior in this. And I can say that I really just was teaching people how to take something that is a liability and turn it into an asset. So I was doing that.
This is exactly why we had you on the show.
Talk about changing the world.
Yeah, because
we have Samantha Katz, who is doing that.
I'm gonna get
as we speak.
I'm gonna get married.
Wow,
and
it's
so
rare. It's rare. See, that's why we have to go outside on the street, grab people off the sidewalk, and bring them in, because we never know who we're going to find.
That doesn't sound safe.
And that's how Samantha got here
for the people.
Right?
That sounds illegal. So, wow, and moving forward. You ended up kind of being ingrained in the food and beverage world, and you ended up meeting Alan Katz. And
I stalked Alan Katz.
You stalked him. Tell us about that.
I stalked Alan Katz.
Okay, tell us about that, please. Tell us about the stalking.
So I'm sure everybody knows Jamie Gordon on this show.
Oh, yes, Jamie Gordon. We haven't had Jamie Gordon on the show, but we should have him on the show.
I think we should write that wrong. I'm putting in the stamp
Jamie
right
Gordon.
now.
Yes, you know Jamie. Okay.
Jamie said, you have to meet this guy, Alan Katz. Jamie and I spent a lot of time together. He said he's kind of like the mayor of cocktails for New York City. And I was like, what do you mean? We have a mayor of cocktails? Who is this person? So he told me about Alan Katz, and I asked, is he single? You know, I have a lot of single girlfriends going back to the original narrative. And he said, actually, yeah, he is single. I said, well, maybe he would like to date one of my girlfriends. So I made it a mission to find Alan Katz, and I met him the first time at Clover Club. I was at brunch with Jamie Gordon, and he was once again talking about Alan Katz. And I said, you have to stop talking about him. It's been a year of you discussing him, and I've never seen him at a single event. And he said, oh, he's right there, standing 8 feet in front of you at the bar. And I was overwhelmed. He was there in a mauve sweater.
Did he have a hat on?
No, okay. 1980s jeans, little balding in the back.
Yeah.
And he went to leave, and Jamie said, you better go catch him. And so I ran. You know, Clover Club has that long bar. Again, I seem to be talking about bars owned by women. It's sort of interesting. Clover Club ran down the bar yelling, Alan Katz, Alan Katz. And as he's opening the door, he turns around and says, yes. And I said, I'm Samantha Unger, and you're the one New Yorker I've been dying to meet.
Wow.
Now, he doesn't remember that day at all.
Really?
He can't remember it. So a year goes on. I had to meet him 2 more times. And finally, on the 3rd time, he walked into a bar, and a young, wonderful bartender, Katie, turns around and says, here's me talking about Alan Katz as he walks into the bar. And my friend at the bar, who's sitting with me as my +1, says, how come you're not dating Alan Katz? Because at that time I was single. And I said to her, it's funny you say that, because on paper, he cares about sustainability. He's a slow food person. He seems to be an environmentalist. He loves cocktails. He's a historian. You know, he's a historian type figure. He seems like a nice guy. You're right. I probably should. And Katie hears this and says, you should be dating Alan Katz. And she says, I'm going to reintroduce you. I said, don't bother. He never remembers. So he comes over. He says, hi, Katie. Nice to see you. He says, let me introduce you to my friend, Samantha. And he turns and says, hi, I'm Alan Katz. And I took his hand and I said, Alan Katz, We have met before. And if you took a minute to pay attention, you would find me very interesting.
Wow. I'm sure he remembers this.
Oh, he does. His retort was, and why is that? And I honestly, this whole, what did you do on Wall Street? What were you, as a woman leader? I mean, I was partnered on Wall Street at 24. I was a global managing director by the time I was 30. I am probably one of the top 10 most successful young women on Wall Street. And you sort of downplayed that. There's a big thing about when you're dating, like the relationship again with money, the conversations. How do you be a confident and powerful woman in an industry and at the same time just have a great date and not have to talk about it?
Right.
So I was like, Alan, because I'm an environmental commodities broker. And I had never said anything like that to anyone in the industry. In fact, I don't even think people really knew.
No, I didn't know.
People just were like, who's this Samantha? She likes to have a good drink, a cocktail. She knows how to throw a party. So he said, now that is interesting. And he asked me out on my first date for 3 weeks later, which also was
that night?
The next day.
Oh, the next day, yeah.
Via email.
Email.
Yes. What are you doing the week of October 18th?
Dear Samantha, what are you, like, formal?
Very formal.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very formal. Now, on the ride home that night, Katie called me and said, I made a huge mistake. I shouldn't have reintroduced you to Alan Katz. I think I'm supposed to be dating him.
What?
That's
funny.
She's happily married now.
Uh-huh.
But it was an interesting evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, everyone, welcome to the Samantha and Alan Katz story. That's what this podcast is all, which is great because we love both of you, Alan and
sweet.
Samantha. And
Feelings are mutual.
we want to know the richness of your relationship.
That's sweet. It is definitely. It's been distilling.
Yes, it's
fermenting.
I was going to try to include this distill in this conversation.
We can.
Yeah. Well, let's. So, Alan got into distilling, and that was around the time that you were married?
No. So he had, it's sort of, it's a sort of, he said, I have this dream of opening a distillery in New York City. And you asked, 20 minutes ago, how did I get into this sort of world, of helping entrepreneurs, helping people? Well, at the time, I was thinking about investing beyond environmental. How do you build a portfolio of assets? How do you think about your future wealth? I was thinking about living wills. I was single. I owned an apartment in New York City. That was a big deal. I had all of this top of mind, and Alan came to me and said, I had a dream. I said, what's your dream? He says, I dream of opening a distillery in New York. I said, there hasn't been a distillery in New York in over 100 years. You're crazy. And he said, no, we can do it. The laws have changed. We can do it. Doing it was a very big thing. Mm-hmm. Like, what did that mean from a capital intensive perspective? Capital in terms of financial capital, labor, infrastructure. How would you build it? How would you go about it? I listened to his plan and I thought his dream was interesting. And I said, I think I can help your dreams come true.
Wow.
And I did. I helped them meet investors for their first round of capital. And honestly, in doing that, I started to put my very specific gender lens focus on, where are the women in distilling? What does this industry look like from a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint? And started to find people along the way. But yeah, it was a dream. And I remember the day we christened Bernadette. She's our still.
Yes.
And when we christened her, I think I was crying.
Yeah.
In the back.
Like a child.
Exactly. Yeah. People say we have, when people say, oh, how many kids do you have? I
children.
Say we have 3.
Yes, right.
The still is the first one.
Right. 1 plus 2 humans.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a couple of
I love-
humanoids. I mean,
Okay. Humanoids? Yeah.
all that.
And you founded a women in distilling group.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ladies of American Distilleries was birthed in a cocktail bar.
Yes. As many things are.
Yes. Kathy Arenzo and Erica Grisanti,
Mm-hmm.
two incredible women
Yeah.
in the distilling movement here in New York, both married into
Yes.
the movement.
If you recall, Kathy Arenzo was married to Gabe Arenzo, who started Hudson Whiskey Company, and Gabe unfortunately
Of course.
passed away several years ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
And Eric,
We were one of the first to tour.
to go
The
visit.
distillery.
You were maybe on that trip.
I think I
It
did
was a
some
US.
touring.
you were
It was
on
a
that. We did it-
USBG
yeah,
trip.
we
and
did a
were
USBG
among
trip.
the first to be allowed into the distillery before it officially opened.
Special people, very
Yeah.
special people.
Yes, they are.
So
They were.
Kathy, Eric, and I went out for cocktails. And on the second round of cocktails, Kathy said, "Can I be honest?" And it was interesting because Erica had married into a spirits and cider family. Kathy had married into a spirits family. And both women were at this point pretty much fully immersed in the family businesses. And the writing was on the wall for me. At what point in time will I be fully immersed in the family business? Meaning you're not just marrying your husband, you're marrying his business too.
Yeah.
So on the second round of cocktails, we started talking about what it means to be a person who marries into the business. And do you, in particular with Kathy, it was a question around equity. She was thinking about what it meant to be a part of the family and a part of the business, and whether or not it was okay to ask for equity and how it would be received
Equity in the business.
by her
As a partner, as a
at that point she was running the tasting room, she was building the employee handbooks, she was getting a marketing degree to be able to take the distillery business to the next level. And on that second round of cocktails, I said to her, this is all about asking. The tone of that family is so wonderful. I think it'll be received well, but you have to put it on the business agenda like you would anything else.
Right.
And you have to make it a point. And it's really important to be able to ask for things you want in this world and need in this world. You can do this. And after that second cocktail, she turned and said, "What you just gave me was confidence to go and ask. And you need to do this for women all the time." And I said, "You know what? We should form Ladies of American Distilleries. We carry the load and we occasionally get loaded."
Nice.
So it grew from our first meeting in New Orleans with just Kathy and Alan's mom as the only attendees to 100 women by the third year at Tales, to 1,000 women in front of and behind the making of spirits. We, through events, educating women on how to get into the distilled spirits industry. We did fundraisers and raised tens of thousands of dollars a year for organizations supporting women in and around New York City. And really, we gave this ethos of when you begin to build your distilling business, think of your space as a community space, a place where you can engage nonprofit organizations, community leaders, advocates, and make your space not just about the products you're building, but about the community you're building around you. So for the first 3 years at the distillery, I produced 160 community events for nonprofits in New York, produced all these different types of events for women in distilling. And eventually Karen Hoskins, after 3 years of pleading, was kind enough to take it over and turn it into the Women's Distillery Guild, and eventually turn it into Women in the Vine and Spirits, the craft spirits division.
That's terrific. And I mean, everything that you've done in the industry has been a huge asset to just the industry as a whole, obviously, really.
Thank you.
And, also the challenge, which I face as well, is, family life and your work environment, and then the two, crossing over all the time and trying to separate.
How does that work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to figure out how to kind of separate the two.
Well, it was a problem for me too.
I remember it was a problem for you growing up
when you
because
and Jessica were growing up.
I was a child.
Yeah.
What do you do? Is there anything? Is it always a work in progress? Are there things that can help you separate the two?
I'm not sure I want the separation.
Okay.
This is for me personally. I'm like, oh, how do we do two things at once? How can we make that event something that's part of a family trip? How do we teach the kids about entrepreneurship? We have two currently gender identifying girls, cisgender females, and I look at it and say, I want you to be the best you can be. We hope that you can achieve greatness. And in order to do that, you need to think about all the ways you can be innovative, you can build, you can dream and build in this world. And most importantly, whatever it is you set yourself on a path to do or trajectory to do, always surround yourself with people who will continue to support you as you dream, who will inspire you to be your best self. And literally the idea of this separation of work and personal life, that is a very blurred line that will only continue to be blurred because, and I used to say this walking into the door of Wall Street every day, I would check my personality, half my personality at the door to go be a leader on Wall Street, to fit the mold of the culture. And if I hadn't stepped away in 2014 from the trading floors, I think I would have completely have become the culture of money and the culture of Wall Street. Instead, I have found ways to stay true to my authentic being, to not just replicate what we're told to replicate in an MBA, but find new pathways forward that truly address what we need rather than trying to fit a mold.
I like that.
Wow.
I think that all makes sense. Sometimes you stress yourself out more trying to figure out how to separate versus just accepting. So,
well, I know I've gotten a good dose of psychological help here today.
It's been a therapy
Was
session.
it too deep for you?
Not
Dark
at
and
all. I
Little
need
meta.
to go even deeper than that.
Anytime.
So,
well,
thank you, Samantha.
Samantha,
I'm going to take
Thank you
you
for
up on
having
that.
me.
it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And
this
I
was
think
my pleasure.
You've made our dreams come true today by being here.
Well, as I
Thank
like
you
to
very
say,
much.
together. We're always better together.
Always better together. Thank you. Thank you.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Munyun's Pawpaw Liqueur and Palm Wonderful.
All right, and we're here for another edition of Tipple Time on the Cocktail Guru Show, live, well, not live, but recorded live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Swizzle Rum Bar. Special guest, mixologist, or we can say, because we're going to mix a cocktail together, Paul Massey from Munyun's Pawpaw, and we're going to talk a little bit about the brand Munyun's and what it is, and then we're going to make a pomegranate daiquiri.
Gotcha. That sounds exciting.
Sounds good?
I wouldn't call myself a mixologist,
No,
so I will taste it. You can make it. How
Okay.
does that sound?
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I know. No, you're your brains and you're a recipe developer, sort of influencing the new recipe from an old recipe. Is
You're
that right?
absolutely
so,
right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the story of Munyun's, what it is, and all
Yeah,
that?
super cool history. This medicine man, born dirt poor in Connecticut, mid 1800s, took Henry Flagler's newly built railroad to Florida at the late 1800s, bought a bunch of property on Palm Beach, and also bought an island 7 miles up the intercoastal, which today is known as Munyon Island. In 1903, he built the first boutique hotel in South Florida on that island, and it was his main distribution point for his cure-all elixir, Munyun's Pawpaw.
Of course.
So this bottle here is one of the original bottles from
Oh,
1903.
nice. Can I see that?
Sure. And really cool, we have 3 bottles with the liquid still in there and the cork in there. And we extracted a sample of the original formulation.
How is it?
sent it out to have it analyzed.
Yeah.
He was prescribing this to anyone that was 5 or older, selling millions of bottles a year for $1 a bottle, which is like $40 today.
Huh.
It was approximately 20% alcohol, had fermented papaya in it. Floridians used to refer to papaya as Pawpaw.
That's right.
But there was also a secret ingredient.
Uh-oh.
There was THC in it
Yeah.
as well. And so he was way ahead of his time.
Right. Bottled THC cocktails. It's all the rage.
But his slogan was a cure for whatever ails you. So, and they say at the turn of the century, he was more famous than the president of the United States.
Oh, wow.
So really cool history behind the brand. So yeah, so Dr. Munyon, he was truly a Renaissance man as well. He was a songwriter. I actually have some of his original sheet music here today.
Is that this?
That's that. So that song right there is about Palm Beach, down where the pawpaw grows. And then if you flip it over, the Nation song was in the running to become our national anthem in the early 1900s.
What?
Yeah. So
He had quite a head of hair.
he did. You know, he was famous for his famous salutation, finger pointing in the air with that haircut, saying, "There is hope." And there you go. And unlike all the other homeopathic, AKA snake oil salesmen from the turn of the century, they all flew under the radar because they were all making outrageous claims for their cure-all elixirs. He was front and center in every one of his ads. Super atypical. So yeah, fascinating individual.
That's super cool. I want to open up a bottle. I want to crack a bottle open so that we can try it and maybe talk about the flavors and, you know, the recipe and well, not the exact recipe, but, you know, some of the things that we might catch when we taste.
So what do you get on the nose?
Yeah. On the nose, I get like fresh citrus peel.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going
Right.
for. We wanted folks to think they were walking through an orange grove on the front end.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then if we taste it,
So it definitely has a bit of orange, you know, the tang, the peel, kind of grapefruity, but then a hint of baking spices, you know, a little bit of like peppercorn at the end.
yeah. So on the back end, you'll get that allspice, some gentian there, which gives it
Yep.
some of the bittering notes and
Yep.
things along those lines. So we like to say it's like Grand Marnier and Aperol having a baby. So you get
Yep.
the orange on the front, bittering on the back. Something really cool that we do that no other brand does is you can actually open up our back label.
Oh, the back label, yes.
You get that?
You get the story. Oh yeah,
Here,
there you
take that
go.
one.
You got that one.
And we tell you all 14 ingredients that are in the product as well. So all natural, 14 all natural ingredients. We list everything that's in the product as
Cool.
well. And it is an homage to the original. It's 20% alcohol, just like the original one it was. There is papaya in there,
Yeah.
but there's also 13 other ingredients and no THC. Everyone keeps
Oh
asking.
no!
Everyone keeps asking when we're going to add it
maybe.
back, but we
Well.
haven't done so yet.
And that the cloudy. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of cloudy. And I'm presuming that that's because of the oils and the botanicals.
You're absolutely right.
And the citrus.
We
Yep.
really make everything old world way, where we make our own tinctures in house, and those are from the oils of the peels, and that's what gives it a little cloudiness to the
Yeah,
product.
I like it because I mean a lot of brands that are citrus forward, they'll filter out
Right.
the cloudiness, but I like it. I mean it's really
Yeah, and
keeps it nice
you know,
and tight.
anytime you start stripping things out, you lose a bunch of those flavors, aromas, all that. So we tend to keep it a little cloudy.
awesome. Should we make this cocktail? Let's do it. You ready?
Perfect.
Okay. Well, I'll make it.
All right, sounds good.
I know
I'll drink
he's
it.
like I don't want to mix anything.
I've been behind the bar with him before, and he's scaring me, huh?
Oh, no. All right, here we go. So we're going to do a pomegranate daiquiri, a Munyon's pomegranate daiquiri. So first of all, I'm going to start with Palm Wonderful pomegranate juice. I'm going to make 2 servings. So I'm actually going to do 1.5 ounces of the Palm Wonderful. Let's go ahead and add our Munyon's Pawpaw. I'm going to do 2 ounces of the Munyon's Pawpaw.
I like to hear that.
Yeah. And we're going to add some rum. We have the rum here from Swizzle Bar, house rum. We're going to do 1.5 ounces in here. And we're going to do some fresh lime juice. We'll do 1.5 ounces of fresh lime juice as well. And if you want a drink that's maybe a little bit more tart, don't add any simple syrup. I like it a little bit more, 50-50 tart sweet. So I'm just going to add about 1/2 ounce of simple syrup into my, a little bit more than that. That was 1/4 ounce. And there we go. And now I've got my ice inside of my big tin. We'll give it a shake. Ready?
There we go.
That's why we pay you the big bucks right there, Jonathan.
Exactly, right? You heard it first. Heard it here first. I'm going to grab a couple of coupe glasses from this fridge over here. There we go. Right over here, and we'll strain it out. Beautiful, bright, almost like a neon color, right?
Love the color of it, yeah.
Beautiful. And garnish. Just a simple lime wheel floating on top. Just like that. Just like that. You want to give it a try?
Let's do it.
There you go. Someone, again, lurking in my peripheral. Is he's got an ailment.
I'm feeling a little peaked.
A cure for whatever ails you.
I could use some of Dr. Munyon's Pawpaw.
Hold on. I'm going to taste it first.
Okay.
Get your pawpaws off.
The pawpaw.
He smelled out the booze.
Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
It's nice.
That's absolutely delicious. Really,
really like Cosmo-esque.
Yeah.
Almost. But I do think that the citrus, the bitterness in Pawpaw, in the Munyon's Pawpaw, goes well with pomegranate. I think that combination is really nice.
To be honest with you, Jonathan, I don't know if I've
Scooching a
had
little bit.
pomegranate with it before.
Really?
That's a delicious cocktail.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's why we do the Tipple Times. Unusual combinations, but, not unusual outcomes.
Knocked it out
I
of
don't
the park.
know. That's
Unusually delicious.
unusually delicious. Well, thank you. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, bud.
To another
Thank you,
Tipple
Paul.
Time. Thank you,
Cheers.
Paul.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Palm Wonderful and Munyon's Pawpaw Liqueur.
That's a wrap. If you enjoy what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to the show and our newsletter. To watch or listen to today's episode or to see the show notes, visit thecocktailgurushow.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok. The Cocktail Guru Show is produced by First Reel Entertainment and is available on SSETV via Roku and Fire TV, as well as on YouTube, Spotify, Zencaster, Audible, and Eats Drinks TV, or wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts.